Hi there. I want to show you a table that I made and the process I went through to make it. I'm going to break this video into several parts because as I was putting this together I realized this is pretty overwhelming. So for this particular video we're going to start from the top, but let me just walk you through the table. We've got our basic table here. It's made up of a bunch of parts. So right here there's the top, and I'll come back and talk to you about the features of that. Next up is we'll have the legs, and they're four pretty much identical legs. After that, we've got the aprons on the top here, and being a square table, those will all be identical. And then one thing we don't always do on our classroom tables, but this is an extra piece, is this shelf right here. And I want you to note how I'm holding that up onto, or connecting that to the legs. So we've got the shelf and then the spreader that holds the shelf in place. On the top, it's a big slab of wood. It's 16 inches by 16 inches. And the only major thing we're going to do to this is add a taper to it right here. It's not going to be quite that simple though. If we look at the drawing, it shows my size of the table is 16 by 16. And down here in this view, you can see the thickness of the table is 1 1/4 inch thick. We don't have wood in our shop that's that big, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't want to use it. Something that big would tend to want to warp, so we're going to use some cross lamination to make that nice and square and stable. So from here, we're going to switch over to the wood shop and start making this table. All right, what kind of wood do I want to use for this project here? Let's see here, mahogany, not too expensive. Red oak, pretty good choice, but we're going to be painting this one. So yeah, cherry, nah, beech, I'm out of beech. That's not going to work. Poplar's a good choice, that's nice and cheap. I got a nice selection of that back there. Pine is another cheap one. I don't like pine because that's twisty, warpy. Then we get into our aromatic cedar and our Port Orford cedar. Nah, probably not. How about on the other side here? Walnut, don't have a sign for that one. Nah, too dark. Maple be good. That's more expensive. Again, we're gonna paint it, so like, I think honestly, let's see, oh, definitely not Jatoba. Way too much for what we need. I think honestly, we're gonna go for some poplars. So I'm just gonna grab a couple of these long sticks here and put them up on the counter and see what I need. All right, let's break down what we need for stock here. We're gonna start with the top right there. So I'm gonna need 16 by 16. And if I look at the thickness of that, it needs to be 1 1/4 inches thick. So that's going to be 2 boards thick. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. All right, my board is just over 7 inches wide. So 7 plus 7 is 14. So I'm going to need 2 plus about a half, right? So I'm going to need 2 for the top layer and 2 for the bottom layer and a fifth one for the leftover for the 2. So basically I'm going to need 5 lengths of this. Okay, if my top's 16 inches, I'm going to cut those about 17. I also want to take a minute to examine my wood. I want to find a nice smooth piece for the top. Okay, for the aprons, I don't mind so much for the top. I really want to avoid that knot. This board's got some wane, so I'm going to kind of take a minute and I'm going to dig through here and I'm going to find a nice piece of wood. All right, this looks nice. That'll be a good one for the top right here. No knots. Got a little bit of wane right here, so what I'll do is I'll cut around those pieces. That'll be my odd piece right there. Okay, let's mark this up for stock. All right, a little bit of quick math is gonna save me time. There's the multiples of 17. So I'm gonna come back to my board. 17, 34, 51, 68, and 85. All right, to the miter saw. All right, I got some thinking to do on these tables. So basically I need 2 thicknesses of wood right now. Each one of these is just under 1 inch, and I need the thickness of my table to be 1 1/4. So I'm gonna glue these together. They're almost big enough. So if I measure these, right, remember we cut them long at 17 inches long. If I put these together, it's just at 16 inches, but we gotta remember, right here, I got to joint these edges right here. right? I gotta joint those edges, so I'm gonna lose some. So I'm gonna need like at least an inch in the middle. I'm gonna give myself about an inch and a half. And when I build these up, I want them to be symmetrical. So I want just like a strip I can put down the middle right here. So I'm gonna take this odd board here, the one that's got this wane, that's the stuff right here. When you look at the end of the board, right? That right there is called wane. So I'm just gonna make a couple strips out of this, run it through the jointer, and then we're gonna glue up this top assembly. All right, jointed edge, two jointed edges, jointed edge in here. Got my clamps all set up, ready to go before I put any glue on this. Okay, same thing here. Got my jointed edge to the glue. Got it.